So in honor of AUA 2025, I'm going to do a rapid fire video, 11 ways you can use AI in your practice right now, today. This is the most common question I've been asked. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Dave. I'm a practicing urologist in the Boston area. I'm also the founder of Well Prepped. Let's dive right in. So I'm going to start off maybe with the most obvious one. It's ambient AI using an AI scribe. This has completely gobbled up my entire workflow. If you haven't tried it yet, what are you waiting for? The cognitive load is lower. I spend more time giving eye contact to my patients. I become a proofreader rather than an author. It's amazing all around. It saves me about 2 hours a day. If you want to do some research, you can go to bestaiscribe.com. It's a directory. It can show you the somewhat dizzying array of choices. There's over 70 companies doing this right now, and no disclosures. I settled on Heidi Health. It's amazing. You can try all of them for yourself. This one happens to have a forever free version, which is great. And the paid plan lets you use custom templates to get the notes exactly how you want it. Start trying one tomorrow. The second way I have for you to be using AI in your practice right away, if you're doing literature searches on PubMed, forget PubMed for now. Open Evidence gives really quick, in less than 60 seconds, AI summaries of any clinical question that you could ask. So, and you can also actually get CMEs from it. So you go to openevidence.com, let's say, what's the retreatment rate for TERP? So it spits the answer that you want with references on PubMed. So 4% at 1 year, 5% at 2 years, 6% at 3 years, 7.7 at 5 years. Excellent for patient counseling, decision making, making sure you're up to date, giving evidence-based recommendations to your patients. The next thing I have for you is generative AI large language models in the form of chat interfaces. If you haven't started exploring this, you need to start exploring it right now. Let me just give you a look at what is on my phone at the moment. We're going to talk very briefly about ChatGPT, Grok, Google Gemini, Claude. There's also Perplexity, which we'll bring up later. And then Doximity has a HIPAA compliant chat interface. These all look very similar. This is ChatGPT from OpenAI. This is Claude, Google's Gemini, Grok, and then Doximity GPT, which is a HIPAA compliant GPT. So what are these all about? I would start poking around, asking questions, helping to improve an email that you've written, trying to make a shopping list, but when you go to the grocery store, writing a prior auth letter, clearance for work notes. Once you start using it, you'll never go back. I probably use this at least 20 to 30 times every single day. If you're entering patient information, though, you want to remember to use a HIPAA compliant interface like Doximity GPT, which is free. My fourth tip for using AI in your life right now sort of borders on personal life, but smart email, AI native email. I'm not going to give you a referral code for this because then you'll think I'm doing it for personal reasons. I love sharing tips just for the sake of spreading the love. So I'm not going to give you a referral code here, but I've fallen in love with Superhuman for email, which is essentially Gmail or Outlook that you already have, plus a layer of AI, plus a new interface, which is the Superhuman interface. The best way for me to explain this to you is by briefly showing you their website where they call out the major features that they do. This has allowed me to get to inbox zero now for almost 2 months straight. Email is a complete waste of time. Email has been described as someone else's to-do list, so you want to get through it as fast as possible. Let's see what it can do. Save 4 hours per person every single week. You can fly through your email with keyboard shortcuts. It's for Gmail and Outlook. It has AI built in, so we're talking about being able to edit and write your emails in your voice because it reads your whole inbox. You can split your inbox into different inboxes so you can fly through certain types of emails very quickly. You can set reminders if you don't get a reply just by using quick keyboard shortcuts. This is an incredible feature. You can create snippets for emails and attachments that you send commonly. You can check your calendar and set events instantly using AI based on the context of the email. I don't want to overstate this one, but it has been quite life-changing for me in the last 2 months. The next use of AI is near and dear to my heart, and that has to do with patient education. Whose lives are made better by having a clear patient education system in place? Yours, your patients, your staff. So you can use AI, just for example, to make patient education handouts. At WellPrep, we do this for our users. They contact us, and behind the scenes, we use AI and then edited by actual physicians to create perfect patient education handouts for you. Online, you can use open evidence. If you look at this, they have examples right after care instructions for a patient recovering from a minor ankle sprain. You can put anything in here that you want. It'll create a pretty good patient handout for you that's evidence-based. Question is, what do you do with it now? You could use a design app like Canva to create a PDF out of it. And then, of course, you need a system to get this in front of all of your patients. WellPrepped is just one such system. Doximity GPT, you could similarly compose a patient handout using AI and all the other LLMs that we reviewed before, ChatGPT, Claude, Google Gemini, etc. The next tip I have for using AI is appropriate for the fact that it's the AUA. A lot of you are giving talks, and in other parts of your life, you may have to give a PowerPoint presentation. You should never be staring at a blank screen. If that's where you typically get caught, you can go to ChatGPT and brainstorm an outline for your talk. There's even Microsoft Copilot now built in where we can say, create a presentation about, and we can type in the topic, active surveillance, prostate cancer, and it creates an outline for you to start from. I find the outlines are usually a little bit weak. It's better if you have a presentation already and then you run it through ChatGPT with a prompt saying something like, pretend you're an audience member, you're a urologist. What are some of the boring parts of the talk? What are some criticisms of the talk? And then, especially if you have to create CME goals, that's one thing where AI shines. Create 4 learning objectives for this talk. You upload the talk, it gives you the result. So there's lots of ways you can use AI for help making, editing, and improving your presentations. The next place you should consider using AI in your practice right now is for in-basket message triage. Now, Epic is slowly rolling this out in select locations for drafting responses to patient messages. Now, I doubt that this saves a lot of time, but it may save cognitive load. In this case, you really want to use a HIPAA-compliant GPT like Doximity GPT, which is free. I just did an example here. A patient's calling about blood in the urine 1 week after prostate biopsy. Give me a quick empathetic answer. And the answer is pretty great. And there are studies that show that the answers tend to be more empathetic and robust than actual answers from physicians. Thanks for reaching out. Sorry to hear you're experiencing blood in your urine after your prostate biopsy. This can be a common occurrence, usually resolves on its own. Important to monitor. If the bleeding's heavy, you can't see through it. If clots are preventing you from peeing, or if you experience any pain or discomfort, please contact our office immediately, etc., etc. Now, to save future you, create this as a quick action so that you have that answer ready in the future. Do this enough times and your in-basket triage flow is going to be completely streamlined. For those of you out there who do research, this next one is for you. I want to introduce you to Google Notebook LM. In general, large language models are fantastic at helping you brainstorm ideas, make a plan for your next few research topics, make a mind map for a topic that you're currently writing a paper on. Assuming that you have permission to upload research studies into LLM, I'm going to assume that you do have permission. You put all of the relevant articles in here, and then you can chat with it as a knowledge base, ask questions, brainstorm research ideas. It's really unbelievable. So you should check it out. It's Google Notebook LM. So the next thing applies both to private practice and academic urologists. Let's say you want to position your practice for growth. One of the things you might consider is hiring a consultant, which is going to be expensive. What if you could have a really good consultant for close to free? I suggest using ChatGPT or one of the other LLMs that you like as a practice consultant. You can't take everything at face value and just blindly implement, but it'll give you a starting point to discuss with your team ways in which the practice might improve. I'll just give you a brief list. It might help with analyzing inefficiencies in clinic flow, recommending schedule optimization strategies, drafting patient communication templates, creating a referral network development plan, identifying quality improvement projects, brainstorming ways to improve the patient experience, writing policy drafts for time off, cancellations, emergencies, suggesting staff retention strategies, building a monthly metrics dashboard for you, or developing a social media and marketing growth strategy for the practice, and then holding you accountable. Try this. I guarantee you're going to get ideas that are going to help grow your practice. We're almost at the end of my list. This is number 10. It's similar to hiring a practice consultant, but it's a little bit different. Using AI for staff training. We all know that efficient practices should have standard operating procedures, handbooks, protocols, but creating those can be a lot of work. So I'm sharing with you a list of things that any LLM should be able to help you draft. And then again, it's much easier to be an editor than it is to be an author. Real quick, standard operating procedures, MA and RN training manuals, phone and front desk scripts, patient flow maps, pre-visit checklists, the list goes on, emergency protocols, inventory and equipment logs, an index of patient education materials, IT access and password protocols, referral process guide, a compliance calendar, an outline of meeting and communication rhythm, including huddles and monthly staff meetings. Imagine how much time it would take to draft all these from scratch. If you already have SOPs and policies and procedures, you can upload it. I'm sure it's ripe time for editing, but an LLM can help speed up the process tremendously. Okay, tip number 11. If you're still using Google for search, you might be doing it wrong. You should explore Perplexity. All right. Perplexity is essentially AI search. Let me give you an example. What are the top conferences for urologists? And create a table of the next 6 conferences with location and website links. Let's see what it does. Searching for top conferences, reading all these sources. The leading conferences for urologists worldwide on advances in clinical practice: AUA, EAU, World Congress of Endourology, SUO, International Continence Society, etc. Now we have a table with dates, locations, and links for the next 6 conferences. And then it immediately gives you related questions, and you can go from there. I highly suggest you play around with this. And here's a bonus tip for those of you who have noticed that Siri is kind of not great anymore. You can enable voice assistant for Perplexity on your phone, and it does what we all wish Siri would have done years ago, which is do things like book a restaurant reservation for you, order an Uber, search YouTube videos, and a bunch of other really cool things. Check it out. You stuck it out to the end. We reviewed 11 ways you can use AI in your practice and in your life starting today. I hope this was useful for you. It was a lot of fun for me to put this together. Any questions? Direct message me or email me. I would be happy to answer individually.